What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Wormrot, entitled Voices. This is released on Earache Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Singapore, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very aggressive, fast, socially conscious style of grindcore. Yeah. I remember the first time I ever heard about this band. I think I was reading a copy of Decibel magazine, I want to say, and then I saw an ad for Earache Records, and one of the images that was on there was for the album cover of a band called Wormrot and their album called Abuse. Judging by the hype words that were around it, like raw, feral, and dirty, or whatever, it really piqued my interest. And when I first listened to Abuse, I was instantly hooked. The riff work, the vocals, the song titles, the drumming, it was just an overall complete sort of grindcore package. And I really liked the approach and style that Wormrot brought to grindcore. And with an album like Abuse, it really paved the way for them to get more well-known and appreciated. And continuing on with them getting more well-known, they came out with a follow-up in 2011 called Dirge. I really think that they seem to grasp how good they could really be, how much better and tighter they could sound, and that was a really awesome record to listen to. They even put out a little EP when Scion was doing the whole thing of cars with metal bands and artists and stuff. They put out like a free 10-inch record or something like that. That was really cool to see them do. But after all of that, I believe this band went on somewhat of a hiatus of some sorts, but didn't really get back into the swing of things until maybe a couple of years later. The ideas were coming around that there was going to be a brand new Wormrot record. There was going to be a small lineup change of sorts. And I was curious to hear what Wormrot were going to bring next, and now here we are with their third full-length entitled Voices. It's 20 tracks, and it clocks in at around 26 minutes in length, so this is pretty much appropriate grindcore album length. But listening to Voices, I honestly feel like this is something completely different in comparison to the first two albums, Abuse and Dirge respectively. But aside from things sounding a little bit different, this still has the feel and the ebb and flow of what a Wormrot record is supposed to sound like. And I honestly think that there really isn't that much dust to shake off for a band like this. This really does feel like them returning to what they know how to do, and that's create some really fast-paced, ridiculously crazy grindcore. And you're going to get plenty of that here with Voices. I really think this is an awesome grindcore record. 20 tracks. Everything goes by at a really brisk pace. I love the fact that they can handle the short songs very well, the really short songs very well, and what I mean by very short, no less than maybe 5 to 8 seconds, to even some of the more lengthier sort of songs near the second half of this record. I really think that the musicianship and tight-knitness that this band brings is very awesome. And speaking of the musicianship, let's talk about the guitar work on here. There's lots and lots of aggressiveness being done here with the guitar. I like the way that it sounds, I like the way everything is played, and I like the execution on every single track that's on here. I mean, you hear it on songs like the opening track, Blockhead Fuck Off, to songs like God's in His Heaven, Fallen into Disuse, Fake Moral Machine. Just some really, really awesome guitar playing going on here. And once again, mentioning the lengthier tracks on this record, like the 1-2 punch of Compassion is Dead and Buried the Sun. You just get some really, really awesome guitar playing done with those songs. It really does make the kind of difference that Wormrot is bringing with their style of grindcore. When it comes to the drumming definitely feels a lot more urgent and spastic in comparison to previous Wormrot releases, I would say. Lots of great fills, blast beats. This is definitely a grindcore drum performance at heart, and you can definitely pick that up throughout the majority of this record. The faster songs, the mid-paced songs, I think this drummer does a tremendous job of doing the Wormrot style justice, and he really brings some incredible work being done here. I think he's the newest addition to the bunch. I'm not sure, but this guy really does an amazing drum performance. And when it comes to the vocals, I would say Earache is the heart and soul of this project. You can really tell that he is a genuinely passionate dude when it comes to making music, writing lyrics, and just being overall creative. I honestly think that like this album being different in comparison to previous Wormrot records, I think his vocal style here is a little different in comparison to previous Wormrot records. Of course, one of the more distinctive traits of Earache's voice is his really low, guttural sort of sounds throughout some of these songs, but once you get to his more mid-ranged, high sort of screams and yells, you can tell that that's something different. I don't really hear that too often from Earache's vocals, but here on Voices, he really does deliver some incredible vocal ranges here, and he really does have a lot of talent when it comes to screaming the vocals and growling and doing all of those sorts of things. Once again, going back to the second half of this record with some of the lengthy songs like Compassion is Dead and Buried the Sun, to even the closing track, Outworld. Just some really, really amazing vocal performances being done by Earache here. He really does bring things all the more... he does bring a great sense of purpose to this record. So overall, Wormrot is back with a vengeance, and I really do think they've put out a really tremendous grindcore record. If you're a fan of Wormrot, if you've liked their last couple of full lengths, I really don't see why you wouldn't like this one. This, like I said, this is a completely different record in comparison to the previous two, but this still does feel like a Wormrot record. A lot more grown up and mature, I would say. So if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Blockhead Fuck Off, God's in His Heaven, Oblivious Mess, Fake Moral Machine, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Grind, Compassion is Dead, and the closing track Outworld. Some really awesome stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you a link in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Wormrot Bandcamp page where you can stream this album in its entirety. Hear it for yourself and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it digitally, and it is available physically as a CD and 12-inch vinyl. You can pick it up through Earache or pretty much wherever CDs and records that Earache sells is available. So again, the album is Voices by Wormrot. This is released on Earache Records. Go support this, and for a score, I'm going to give this a very strong 8.5 out of 10. Wormrot are back, and they are awesome, and I believe they may be doing some US touring next year, so hopefully I'll be able to catch them. You never know. So if you've happened to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it and how you feel about it and how you think it compares to previous Wormrot releases, or any of you guys into Wormrot. Definitely let me know. And by the way, I'm also going to leave you a link to Earache's YouTube channel. He recently has been making some vinyl collection videos in addition to doing the Wormrot behind the scenes vlog music sort of stuff. This guy is a really, really good dude, and he knows his shit. He knows exactly what he's talking about. So definitely go subscribe to Earache's YouTube channel. Support Wormrot. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until the next time, Army out.